least we got the uniform right. You're wearing a black jacket.
Windbreaker.
Yeah,
I feel like I've had this
Phillies hat.
ensemble for like the last 3 episodes. I had this during the Super Bowl, the last one. If you haven't noticed, we have a different backdrop and front drop and around us drop today.
Completely on purpose.
It is.
We're celebrating opening week is coming up next week.
With sparkles and reflective stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
Hey,
pouring.
welcome back though.
Whoa. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
But it's pouring outside.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Windy.
It was raining pretty hard.
And windy.
66 was all backed up. I told you there was a huge pile up.
Yeah.
People might have died.
Yeah. It's
Awful.
like dead bodies stacked to like
The brim.
the roof of your car.
My car's not too tall. Probably like 4 or 5 bodies. I've measured.
Yeah.
I've measured
That's how
before.
many bodies could be.
Probably 4 or 5, 6, 7 maybe.
So opening week is next week.
Yes.
And we have 1 week.
1 week
now.
to go.
And they're starting their season playing the Nationals.
Should be a 3-0.
It should be.
Should be, depending on how the offense is going and the way they've looked this spring.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. We're pivoting right into it. They've looked great.
Yeah, they really have.
Some of them. People I can tell you have looked better. Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas somehow hitting over 300.
Crazy.
Looking great.
But we do have a pitcher issue right now, right?
Yeah, Ranger Suarez, back stiffness, and I'm not shocked. It's a shame, but it's kind of Ranger Suarez at this point.
Yeah.
It sucks that that's probably going to be his legacy when, no, probably his stone cold attitude during the playoffs might be his legacy in Philadelphia, but injuries are going to play a huge part, which sucks.
If it's back stiffness, is that really going to be something that's, I mean...
See, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
The one thing that worries me is they said they're going to check in a few days to see how serious it really is, and that's kind of like... Because usually Rob Thompson's pretty quick to be like, that's not an issue.
So what does that mean for starting rotation?
I think you know exactly.
I think I do. I just wanted to hear you say.
I think you know exactly who our new number 5 is going to be, Mr. Taiwan Walker.
And honestly, he wasn't horrible in spring.
Listen, I texted you the other day.
Yeah.
I know yesterday happened. 6 earned runs against the Yankees. But think about it this way. Wheeler had an outing where he allowed 6 runs like a couple weeks ago. Luzardo allowed 6 runs a couple weeks ago. Just working on stuff.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think they work on things. Yeah.
It's spring training.
Yeah. This isn't exactly how they're going to pitch in a game in the season. Hopefully.
All I'm saying is he's hitting 94 consistently. I don't think he went over 91 last year once.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll be fine. Our pitching rotation's really, really good.
I mean, how about Nola? Are you kidding me? Nola's looked like 2018 Nola, maybe, when that year they got Arrieta, and they're like, oh, best 1-2 punch in the sport.
I really liked Jake Arrieta.
I loved him.
He didn't work out.
He was one of I was campaigning for the Jake Arrieta Revenge Tour
in
2019, and then he had like a 5 ERA. I really liked him. It was a bad contract to an aging pitcher, but maybe he had some guidance. I don't know. He did crap on Scott Kingery, which didn't help his legacy in Philly.
What's going to happen with Scott Kingery this year?
It's actually funny you bring that up. He just got designated for assignment by the Angels.
Oh.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame.
I'd assume he's going to clear waivers and go to the minors in the Angels system. I doubt any teams like I want that guy on my team right now.
Well, hopefully he'll prove himself because I really liked him too.
It's a shame. I was listening to something today talking about Scott Kingery, the downfall. You can blame so many people. Gabe Kapler. I'm a Gabe Kapler supporter too.
Yeah,
always have been. But he really did mess up a lot for a 23-year-old, moving him around the field like that so much. I don't know. I feel like it gets in someone's head.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And then all the different hitting coaches probably didn't help having a new one every single year, trying to change your swing. And also Scott Kingery couldn't stay healthy. So
much promise in the beginning, though.
it's a shame. It was just, I was thinking today, it made me so mad thinking at the time, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. But they really let Cesar Hernandez stick at second base and move Scott Kingery all around the field when he was clearly the better player or upcoming player, I'd say. And I mean, Hernandez was great, but
Yeah, but his time was,
it felt like a no-brainer.
yeah.
I don't think, did Cesar Hernandez play in the Bryce Harper era? I think he did. I think he did. I think he was there
Maybe
in
a season?
2019 because Franco was also there. They left the same year because Franco was there in 2019. Remember 9-hole Barry Bonds for the 1 week when he was just the best 9-hole hitter in the whole entire sport, and then he fell off.
Yeah.
That's another player where I'm kind of like, Maikel Franco was supposed to be the future of the team.
I know. It's crazy how that happens.
He had one of my favorite swings in the sport, too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a shame how that happens. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it happens. I mean, I guess.
It's supposed to be what? Franco, Nola, Jorge Alfaro, Nick Williams, Aaron Altair, Tommy Joseph,
Oh, yeah. Tommy Joseph.
Rhys
He played first base.
Hoskins.
Oh, Rhys Hoskins. Wait. I thought Tommy Joseph played first base.
Tommy Joseph played first. Rhys Hoskins came up and played left, and then they
That's
released Tommy Joseph the next year.
And then Rhys Hoskins went to first.
Yeah. But at the time, people really did think Tommy Joseph was the next Ryan Howard, or at least I did. What were we talking about before all this?
Scott Kingery, I think.
Scott Kingery,
Yeah.
and how it sucks what happened to his career.
Yeah. Maybe something will happen. You never know.
He had a great year in the minors last year. He had like an 800 OPS, 25 home runs, something like that.
What about Harper staying at first? Is he going to stay at first?
I think so. Would I love if they got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and moved Harper to right field? I would lose my mind over that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be upset about that.
Do I think it's realistic? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think if you made me a betting man, and I'm not saying this, God love him, I feel like Rhys Hoskins coming back next year seems a little more inevitable than ever.
That would be the return of Rhys Hoskins?
I feel like he has a good year this year. He's already got 6 home runs right now in spring, but he's a streaky guy.
He is.
So he's probably going to start the season insanely cold. But if he has a good year, Phillies need a first baseman. They want to get rid of Nick Castellanos maybe, or Kepler has such a good year they can't pay Kepler. Sign Hoskins, Castellanos to left, Harper to right. You got yourself a team again. I mean, we have a team right now.
We do. We have a really good team, and I'm just curious to see what they're going to do differently this year. They started off so hot last year.
I wouldn't mind just a good season.
Yeah.
What if they were just steady? I think 15 wins a season is 90-something wins, something like that. 15 wins a month is like 90 wins. Can you just be steady? What if they were just steadily good? Not streaky, just good all the way through.
And then, like I said on the last one, they're going to win the
I believe so as well. I went crazy.
I don't know. Maybe the Dodgers might beat them, but I don't know.
That's really the only team I'm scared of.
The Braves are pretty good.
Honestly,
And the Mets. Yeah, but I'm not scared of the Mets. I'm never scared of the Mets.
No, they're opening day starting pitcher is Clay Holmes. Have you ever heard that name before?
No.
I mean, I have, but I'm a little psychotic when it comes to sports.
I think he was a theater actor.
Clay Holmes.
In the 1800s. He
Probably.
Was star of stage and screen.
The injuries are really killing the Mets. No,
Good.
but I'm not
fine with
afraid
that.
of the Mets at all. I'm
Nah,
sorry.
I'm
I
not.
hate saying it, but
Yeah. It's usually the Braves that I'm worried about.
I mean, the Braves
In
are
our,
probably the most complete team in the NL East,
yeah.
if you asked me. I think they need maybe one more outfielder. They just signed Verdugo today, but I'm not really He had a 680 OPS last year. I'm not afraid of Alex Verdugo.
Honestly, if the Phillies need to be smart in the next couple of years. I think they have, all joking aside, they have a legit chance at a run this year to win the World Series.
Yeah, I would
However, next year, I think they really might need to start thinking about the future, long term. Because, in your opinion, NL East, what is the next team, taking the Phillies out of it, that is going to make a
like the next good team?
Yeah.
I want to say the Nationals,
That's
but
what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I'm kind of on the fence about the Nationals because at the end of last year, I was really high on them. I was like, oh, they might be good, but their pitching is just not great. And I mean, that can be fixed in free agency, but they don't really have many prospects. They got Dylan Cruz, James Wood, C.J. Abrams, and there's not much else going on with the Nationals.
It's true, but I feel like they may make some moves somehow. I think they have some good players. I don't know.
They got money.
I think they're ones to watch.
They got money. They just got rid of the Patrick Corbin contract finally.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. What a horrendous contract. I mean, you could argue it was worth it because they won a World Series the first year he played for them, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely not the Marlins.
Not to change this, no. And the Braves are always up there, so that's not a
good.
thing. Yeah.
And the Mets are going to be they're going to sell by next year. The Mets are going to sell by next year. Yeah. That's what I think.
They should, especially if they do nothing this year.
What were you going to say though? You said change the topic.
Completely change the topic. I think we need to just mention the fact that Brandon Graham retired.
Probably I decided this last year because I really thought about it. It's like I think I really love Brandon Graham. Like that might be one of my favorite Eagles of all time.
Yeah, I agree. Did you know he's the last surviving player from Andy Reid was there?
That's not Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson was a part of that?
I don't think so.
That's crazy.
Because I think Lane Johnson and Brandon Graham. Well, they definitely were there when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I think they might be the only two Eagles still there. Jake Elliott?
Jake Elliott. I think it's just Jake Elliott, Brandon Graham. It was Rick Lovato, but we just released him.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I was thinking yesterday.
When the Eagles won the Super Bowl before, not this past year, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously. Like, Brandon Graham's probably going to go down as one of my favorite Eagles of all time.
Yeah.
I realized that last year, like I said. But I didn't notice it because I didn't become such a huge fan until after 2017. But I mean, I grew up watching Brandon Graham. That's the one player that stuck around the entire, like Jason Kelce, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, I mean, I guess I knew he was awesome, but when you watch the highlights, because now he's retiring and you see highlights everywhere.
Brandon Graham was great.
Like, wow, he was awesome. He's the one, isn't he the one that forced that?
The Brady fumble.
The Brady fumble in the Super Bowl?
It was crazy because when that happened, I was like, they just won the Super Bowl. They did it. And then Brady somehow almost did a Tom Brady. But
almost.
Yeah, I grew up watching people like that. And it's crazy that I'm getting to the point where I'm watching some of my favorite players that I watch get drafted retire.
So strange.
Like Bryce Harper's 32 years old. Can you believe that?
I remember when Bryce Harper was the big, like,
there were times 10-year-old me cried watching Bryce Harper just destroy the 2012 Phillies.
Oh, the Phillies.
The poor 2012 Phillies, man. That was their run it back one more year, see how it goes.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And they just couldn't stay healthy. It was, just Rollins stayed healthy that year. And then they sold at the deadline. They traded Victorino, Pence.
I love that team, though. Victorino, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins,
Jimmy Rollins is always going to be my favorite
Ryan
Philadelphia
Howard.
Philly ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't know if Bryce Harper could even top Jimmy Rollins the way I love Jimmy Rollins. He was just such a cool player to me.
He was.
He made me fall in love with the game. Like, I was always number 11.
You were always number 11.
I wanted to be Jimmy Rollins. Yep. He was so cool.
Yeah, he was awesome. But what's cool now is you started as a fan when they were really good, but you've seen them at really low.
I started becoming a fan right at the fall off.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's crazy that I stuck through it for
You
8
did.
years, 9 years, almost 10 years.
And I would say super fan, like watching every
I
game.
watched every 2015 through 17 game where they almost lost 100 games.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to right now is the nice weather, sitting outside
I
watching
know.
games. You gotta
I
come watch with me.
no,
Or
I'm
we're doing
ready.
the podcast while we're watching. To me, that's I think what keeps us doing the podcast because we can sit there and watch the
Yeah,
game.
I was thinking back on track.
Sorry.
No. I think the people like the fluid,
Mm.
like the
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's real. It gets real. But
Rugged and real.
who's more likely to get extended, Schwarber or Real Muto, in your opinion?
Real Muto.
I think both of them do.
Yeah.
I think Schwarber's more likely to get extended. And I
Really?
think Schwarber's going to get extended within the next week. That's my opinion. Before the season starts, I think they're going to wait out
Why
Realmuto.
Schwarber?
I think because Schwarber's proven he's going to be a power hitter for the rest of his career. He's going to be, he's a DH, you know?
He had a good year last year.
It was arguably the best season of his
Yeah.
career, maybe besides 2021. But Schwarber's proven that he's probably going to be this guy for the rest of his career. You know what you're going to get with Kyle Schwarber. Realmuto is on the slow decline.
You know what? That is absolutely true. Now that you say that, as I'm thinking through this, Romuto is gradually,
And it's sad.
yeah.
He's in year 7 of being on the Phillies.
I can't even believe
Isn't
that.
that insane?
I cannot believe that.
But I think they're going to get it done. I don't know if it's going to be before this season, but it's going to be something small, like maybe 2 years, $20 million. It's not going to be $25 million a year.
Mm.
Definitely not, because Marchand got named the backup catcher, which means they're probably slowly going to move him.
So Stubbs
got sent down.
got sent down.
It's sad, but it needed to happen. It's the business thing. It really is. Stubbs had one option. Marchand didn't have any options.
Yeah.
It was business. Stubbs is having a great spring.
Hey, you know what? Stubbs is going to be the life of the party in the
AAA.
AAA.
Maybe he'll get people coming up fired up and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he'll be the guy. Yeah, exactly.
He'll be a good influence on Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford
Yeah.
and Andrew Painter. But yeah, I think Schwarber's more likely to get done before the season ends. I don't know how long, maybe 3 years, 60 million, 20 million a year gets Schwarber done maybe. 3 years 60, 3 years 50,
How old is he?
32.
Yeah, 3 years is good.
But he's one of those people that's, I feel like, in my opinion, this isn't based off anything, this is my opinion, I feel like Schwarber's going to age well. He's going to be like a Nelson Cruz type where he's just reliable until he's like 40. Hitting 40 home runs. Not the highest average, but that doesn't matter anymore. I think he's going to be a Philly for the rest of his career, if you asked me right now. There's no shot he won't be.
I mean, think about who we have locked up right now. I mean, you got Harper,
Turner, Harper, Nola, Wheeler, Sanchez.
That's good, man.
That's a great core.
Yeah.
And I think Realmuto is going to get added on 2 more years. And I think maybe he'll retire with Zach Wheeler. Because Zach Wheeler already said after this contract's up, which is 3 more years, he's done. Which is sad to think.
It is.
We only got 3 more years of Zach Wheeler. But I think
Yeah.
there's no shot. I couldn't even imagine Realmuto in a different jersey.
No.
I mean, I said that about Utley, and I said that about Hamels.
I still don't like seeing either pictures of either one of them in another
Although,
jersey.
I'll say Chase Utley did suit LA pretty well.
Yeah. He was kind of an LA guy, but I loved when he was on the Phillies.
And Hamels was good in Texas for a couple years. But they're still Phillies in my heart.
They really are. I mean, think about it. He was the World Series MVP.
Now he's in the booth.
2008. Yeah,
that's
cool.
the craziest thing. I grew up watching Howard, Utley, Rollins, Hamels, and now they're all retired. Rollins is getting put in the Wall of Fame this year.
Yeah. We should go to that game.
August 1st. I wouldn't mind it.
Just look at the tickets.
Yeah. We'll probably have to act fast.
Yeah.
It's Jimmy Rollins. It's the last player of the core getting put on the Wall of Fame, isn't it? No. I think the other one's just retired. Other one's retired as a Philly, and then Rollins is the first one of the core to get put in the Wall of Fame.
Mhm.
That's so crazy.
It's wild, and I love that they come back to Philly. Like
Everyone does.
they know what it's like. Did you see? So Kelsey and Brandon Graham said good things about Phillies fans.
They always do.
Yeah.
That's what they. Every other Philadelphia athlete that's not a Phillies player has always said that October baseball in Philadelphia is unlike any other postseason
Unreal
atmosphere they've ever seen.
Man, you go to a game when it's sold out and
It's
they do
insane.
something big. It's like no other. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I've never been to a playoff game, but I can imagine
No, it's true. I don't.
I'll be awake the entire car ride home, like wired. I have to be awake because I'm usually the one that drives home.
It's true.
You drive there, I drive home.
Well,
We got a system.
we should try to go this year.
Yeah, I would love to. I was telling Alex it's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is we got to play it smart. Because do we go early in case they get kicked out, or do we save our money and wait for them to go to the World Series? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I'll pay whatever it is to go to the World Series. I don't care. I'll pay whatever it is.
That's. Oh man, that'd be crazy. I wish we had a hookup at Citizens Bank Park like we have at Nat Stadium.
Like Terry.
Yeah, we have our hookup for. We should really take better advantage of that.
We need to go to more Nats Phillies games.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of right when the schedule dropped for this year, I was like, oh, I'm going to all three of those. And I almost didn't go to one, but now I'm going to one.
Yeah.
Only one. That's fine. Opening day.
That was cool. Yeah. I think we've talked about it before when we went there for the.
Opening night.
No, when we went to
the
National
All-Star game?
Stadium for the All-Star game.
That was incredible.
That was so cool.
And that was one of the best All-Star games I've ever watched.
Yeah.
10 home runs in that game. It was so back and forth. They went extra innings.
We got out on the field. We got a ball. We met the umpires. We met
J-Lo. J-Lo met me.
and
J-Lo met me. She said hi.
she did say hi.
She did. She did.
So did A-Rod and Big Poppy.
I don't care about Alex Rodriguez, though.
He was big. He was bigger in person than I thought he was going to be.
David Ortiz is one of my favorite non-Phillies players ever.
Super friendly.
Oh, he's great. And he was a great player.
Yeah.
Probably the best DH of all time. Let me think about that. David Ortiz, Edgar Martinez,
Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber when it's all said and done. Nelson Cruz, probably up there. I feel like David Ortiz is probably the best DH of all time. You can't put anyone up. Edgar Martinez close. Mark Teixeira maybe. Carlos Beltran.
You said Pedro Martinez?
Edgar Martinez.
I was like,
The Mariners guy.
wait, what? Pedro Martinez?
Great DH. Great DH. Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think they're. I just want a steady year. I want a steady year, and that's all I ask
Yeah,
for.
because it was terrible. Like, the first half of last season, I feel like just before the All-Star break, you could see that something was starting to
It was
go
starting to
bad. It was
crumble
like
a little bit.
It's like, no. You just need the All-Star break. No big deal. Maybe we'll pick up somebody in the trade deadline.
I got Austin Hayes and Carlos Estevez.
And then it just kept getting worse. I almost got afraid they were not going to, but they ended up winning the
NL East.
NL East. But I was starting to get a little nervous. Like, I don't know what's going to happen now.
See, I wasn't too nervous. I was sad, but I had been predicting their playoff fall off since like August. I had that vibe where I was like, this team's not doing anything. No shot. And then Schwarber hit that leadoff home run, and I was like, oh, never mind. They're in. And then they lost 7-2. I don't want to talk about the 2024 NLDS. That was a nightmare.
Oh, it's so bad.
But
Well, we didn't have to play. At least we didn't have to play the wild card game.
Dodgers are the only team that scared me in the entire MLB.
Yeah, Dodgers.
I'm not scared of the Yankees. I'm not scared of the Orioles. I'm not scared of any of the other. I'm not scared of the Astros.
Astros.
My World Series pick is not looking good right now. The Astros are a hot mess at the moment.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think the Astros dynasty might be done.
How about the Padres?
I'm a little afraid of the Padres. Their
Yeah.
pitching's pretty good. I feel like no matter what, they always have randomly good pitchers that I've never heard of in my life. And then the Dodgers have all the big names.
The Philly weren't the Phillies number one in the NL East for, I don't know, first couple of months, or am I wrong about that? I feel like
think
the Mets
so.
had it for a little bit, and
The Braves had it for like the first week,
Okay.
and then Acuna went down, Strider went down.
That's right.
Strider's one we got to talk about. Did you see his first outing back from Tommy John?
No.
Throwing 100 miles an hour.
Oof.
I've been saying it since last year, though. I hate Spencer Strider, but he's a future Philly.
Yeah, he's scary.
I
Man.
love
He's
Spencer
scary.
Strider so much. He's such a fun pitcher to watch, though.
Yeah.
And his quads are huge.
That's just feeling like quads. That's crazy shit.
Get him at running back.
And yeah.
And Acuna will be back probably by May. I think I'm not afraid of the Braves. I think I just realized just now. I decided I'm not afraid of the Atlanta
Okay.
Braves. Arceta was bad last year. Matt Olson was bad last year. Austin Riley was solid.
It'd be so nice to see the Phillies start off 3-0. That's what I want to see.
Only thing that worries me about the Braves is they had half their team injured and still made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a little freaky
Yeah.
to think. Dodgers are probably going to break the win record this year. I think 116 is the record.
You think they'll break it?
That's my prediction right now.
Huh.
See, I think the Dodgers are either going to win, they're going to break the record, or they're going to win 88 games. That's what I think.
Oh, and then get in?
First round exits. That'd be so. I think the whole world would be happy to see the Dodgers just get kicked out in the NLDS or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Well, if they had 88 wins,
Something's wrong.
I mean,
Half their team went
you're
down.
probably. I was trying to think, like, they might win their division if they had 88 wins, or would they get a wild card? I guess it depends.
I think the Diamondbacks are pretty underrated in the NL West.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks have one of the best rotations in baseball. They got Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Jordan Montgomery if he's good.
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis, forgot about that in his baseball career. They got a pretty complete lineup too.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks are legit. I'm a little afraid of the Diamondbacks now. I'm having a lot of realizations in this podcast. I'm not that afraid of the Braves. No, wait. I'm not afraid, but I'm also a little afraid
What
of the
does their
Braves.
schedule look like past the first 3 games?
I'm pretty sure they play LA right after DC.
Oof.
Which LA? The Dodgers. I think it's them. How do you feel about...
Phil's catching picture clears as Stubbs optioned out.
Oh, I have a pretty crazy take about the Tokyo series.
Yeah.
Or they play Colorado?
Colorado and then LA, then the Dodgers, and then Atlanta.
Goodness
It's not going to be an easy start. Well, after Washington, it won't be easy.
How do you feel about the MLB season opening up in Tokyo?
I don't know.
I've heard it debated, and I wanted to put my 2 cents in today.
Well, I think that. I guess they're trying. What are they trying to do?
I mean, they're
Attract
trying
more fans.
Yeah, and I love that they're doing that. But I just personally, I don't think you should do it at the beginning of the season.
No.
It's not. And I'm not trying to sound like one of those people, but baseball is an American sport.
Yeah.
You want the season to open up at every team's home stadium. You know.
Yeah.
You can do the London, Tokyo, whatever series in the mid-season.
The only teams that are not in the United States, the only team,
Toronto.
is the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and I mean, there wasn't much hype around this series. I feel like if you did it mid-season, it'd be a little better.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the middle of spring training.
Like, it would actually be kind of cool if it was sometime in the midseason.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
I really think
Although flight times would be horrible. But
Yeah. I just really think that it wasn't a smart idea. I think baseball is better when every team's opening up at their home stadiums
yeah,
because it's something people look forward to. It makes it the big talk.
Mhm.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
that's
It's
my
weird.
2 cents on that situation. I love that baseball is going to different countries and becoming more popular,
Yeah,
but I feel like it's a long season. People get tired of the sport. Casuals get tired of the sport. Why not do exciting stuff like that in like the dog days of summer
right.
or something like that?
And that's not to say baseball isn't popular in other, but it's the MLB, Major League Baseball itself. That is here. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, play a couple games. I mean, they did the London game.
There was the Mexico series.
Yeah, like that's cool, but not to
Yeah.
start off.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. You
But
kidding
not
me?
to open this
Yeah.
season. That's weird. I don't like it.
The London
I don't
series
like it.
was great. I mean, half British people probably think Taiwan Walker's like the best pitcher in the sport. That was the best outing I've ever seen from Taiwan
He's going to
Walker.
prove it this year.
Listen, one of my hot takes. If we're just, do you want to just do a random bit before
Yeah.
we end this?
Do it.
Okay, 3 hot takes
Okay.
for this team.
Mhm.
We'll go back and forth. I'm just gonna be completely like,
I feel like I used up all my hot takes last time.
I don't have any right now. They're
Okay.
gonna be coming out like
All right.
I'm gonna wing it.
All right.
Number 1, I think Taiwan Walker is gonna make at least 10 starts this year, and I think he's gonna pitch under a 4.5 ERA, 4.5
Oh.
ERA. That's
Okay.
more than serviceable.
Okay.
I like it. I'm in. Taiwan Walker, I'm in. Let's do it. Let's do it, number 99. Best 99 in baseball?
So let's say this then. On that topic, then maybe Suarez should stay out as long as he needs to
Keep him
get
healthy.
100%.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that a hot take? Is that your hot
Yep.
take?
Yeah, that's it. That's my hot take. Randy Suarez should stay out until he's healthy.
I like it.
Don't come back too soon.
Hot
Unless
take.
Taiwan Walker becomes Taiwan Walker.
Yeah. I've changed an opinion from the last podcast.
Uh-oh.
Nola's going to be a top 3 pitcher on the Phillies.
Yeah, you did have him, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to
I
end the
didn't agree with
season
that.
in the top 3. And he's not going to be 3 or 2.
He's not going to be 1.
No, I was kidding.
Oh, I was gonna
Something
say,
crazy would have to happen to Wheeler for him to be number 2.
Yeah. It's going to be Wheeler Sanchez.
I think it's going to be, right now, Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, Suarez, Walker, Painter.
It's like 6, right?
Yeah. I was just ranking all the pitchers.
Or 7. How
Yeah.
many pitchers did you just name?
Ranger, Suarez, Taiwan Walker, Andrew Painter, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, Jesus 7.
Yeah.
7-man rotation.
7-man rotation.
All right, your second hot take.
You know who would
What?
not be happy with that?
Who?
Well, probably all of them. But
Yeah, that's a good
especially
point.
Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, Zach Wheeler doesn't like 6-man rotations
He wants to know that he's pitching on blah
every
blah
5th day.
Yeah.
I like it. I love that. It's classic of him, and I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that baseball's slowly going back? It was weird. It was like moving forward where pitchers were only going 5 innings.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden the Phillies are reverting back.
Mm-hmm.
Wheeler and Nola both pushed 200 innings last year. You don't see that much anymore. And I love that. I love that they're kind of reverting back.
I think you should let someone pitch as long as they're still doing well.
They're still kicking butt. Yeah.
They're healthy
Why
and they've
not?
shown that they're. I think it builds. Honestly, I think it builds some toughness for future games.
If I can watch Kyle Kendrick throw a complete game 4 runs against the Marlins, I can watch Zach Wheeler throw 7 innings of 1-run ball.
Hot take: Kyle Kendrick comes back to the Phillies.
Okay? And he hits. He's a DH.
Remember how bad Kyle Kendrick could be? Well, he could be really good.
He was like the Reese Hoskins of the pitching
so
staff,
bad.
where Kyle Kendrick was like, holy crap, he might be like a number 3 starter.
Yeah.
And then,
Then he gives up like 10 runs in the first inning.
He's a mop-up guy in the bullpen.
Oh,
Same with Reese Hoskins. Reese Hoskins could be the scariest hitter in the sport,
yeah.
and then he would just crumble.
Yeah.
I love Reese Hoskins, but streakiest hitter I think I've ever watched play the sport. Probably.
I still think that Um, Bryson Stott is going to do very well this year,
Oh,
and
100%.
I think because of that, that is going to the Phillies are going to stay consistent.
Bryce Harper's going to be good.
Yeah,
Bryce Harper is going to be good. There's no doubt about it. If Bryce Harper stays healthy, he's going to be top 5 MVP.
yeah.
But Bryson Stott being good,
I think it's just going to bring up the whole team's going to do well
it's
because of that.
bigger for this team than I think people realize.
Yeah.
Bryson Stott being good. That's basically like they signed a new player. Basically. People forget just because they didn't make moves this year that the Phillies are actually a top 5 team in the sport.
Yeah, they're great. I mean,
They're fantastic. They got the most playoff wins the last 3 years out of any team. I mean, come on. Come on.
but if they don't do anything with that this year,
I think
we may be
Romuto's
seeing a
gone.
new manager.
No.
No,
No. Thompson made some bad choices last year, but I don't know if it's on him, in my opinion. I don't remember. Did I blame the coaching staff in the Meltdown podcast we had?
I don't remember,
I blamed Kevin Long.
but
I know I blamed Kevin Long.
I don't think Thompson will be out because he's brought them to the postseason
3 years.
3 years
I think
and the World Series 1 year.
managers get used as scapegoats way too much.
Yeah,
Like they don't. They're too scared they're going to hurt their best players' feelings, telling them to get it together. I think managers get such a short leash sometimes for no reason.
I think he should start benching people for how they're playing,
Yeah. Yeah.
depending on what it is that they're. If they're making a bunch of mistakes,
Bench him.
bench them.
Gabe Kapler never should have been fired.
No.
I'm sorry to bring him back up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Never should have been fired. He won 108 games with the Giants. Come on.
How often do you think Marshawn will play?
Hopefully 2 times a week. That's what I hope.
So they'll kind of like slowly
Yeah.
phase out Real Muto.
Yeah. Like they do with the veteran quarterbacks to the young draft quarterbacks.
I feel like what did they do with Chooch?
They traded him.
They didn't
Yeah,
they?
they traded him to the Mariners, I want to say.
I forgot about that.
Sucks. Did they trade him to the Mariners or did they trade him to the Dodgers?
We saw it last year. Why were we at a game where he was there?
The Hamels retirement. He threw the first pitch to Ruiz.
That's right. How could I forget that?
I don't know. I got 2 hot takes.
That was pretty cool.
Two
Go
more
for
hot
it.
takes.
Yeah.
Okay, this just came up in my head, and I don't know
We'll
if this
discuss
is just,
your hot take.
I don't know if this is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I think Rhys Hoskins is going to find his way back on this team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just me reminiscing since we've been talking about him, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't have a good send-off. I don't think he's done here.
What I really don't like is there are people that just do not like him at all.
And I get that they're frustrated with him being streaky, but there's more players to blame for 2022 than Rhys Hoskins.
You can't deny what the good he did for the team.
You can blame Castellanos for 2022 in the World Series. You can blame Stott. Well, he was just
Stott was
he wasn't
pretty-
seasoned enough. He was a
Nah.
rookie.
Yeah.
You could okay. I know this is crazy, but if you look at his stats, I'll be backed up. You could blame Harper a little more than Hoskins in the World Series.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that because I love Bryce Harper, but he had that one big home run.
Yeah,
and
other
then
than that,
kinda
he
went
didn't
quiet.
do much. Yep. I totally agree with that. Totally agree.
And I hate saying that. Bryce Harper's top 3 Philly in
True.
my heart, probably.
Yeah.
But he didn't show up in the World Series. Bromuto showed up more than Harper in the World Series.
Was that the postseason where Castellanos was good?
No, that was the postseason where he was just
So then it was
blank.
after that, the year after that.
yeah, where he had the crazy 4 home runs in 2 games.
Yeah.
That beautiful home run off Spencer Strider. I will never forget that home run. 99 miles an hour right down the middle, and Castellanos just crushed it. In the powder blues.
Beautiful.
I'm going to watch that when I get back.
I think I might wear. Oh yeah, Harper's perfect jersey to wear.
Jen
for that
DC.
opening
Oh,
day.
beautiful. But yeah, that was my one hot take. And my other hot take, I texted you this. Max Kepler is the next Zach Bond.
Yeah, you did say that.
I have such
like it.
a strong feeling for Zach Bond. And I know I hate these people too, where everything has to be a coincidence. Everything has to line up like that. I'm not usually one of those people, but this just something's right about Max Kepler.
Yeah.
He's hitting over 350, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs this spring. He was injured all last year. He got cut by his team. Oh, Zach Bond did that too.
Right.
Zach Bond overperformed in preseason football with the Eagles. What? What's happening? I think Max Kepler is going to work his way into a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One that the Phillies can't pay for. I think Max Kepler is going to be an Atlanta Brave by next year. Next Philly killer, Max Kepler. Are you ready for that?
That would kind of stink, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Bond, they at least were able to bring back.
Hey, he's either going to do that or he's going to be the next Whit Merrifield.
That's kind of sad.
There's going to be no in between, I don't think. He's either going to be great to where the Phillies are like, we're going to extend this guy, or he's going to get cut before the trade deadline. That Whit Merrifield thing makes me so mad because he was like, they gave up on me. They told me I couldn't do it. Buddy, you had a 580 OPS. What do you want them to do?
I also think that they need they need to make some big move. Like they can't. I say it like this: they can't be afraid to make big moves
At the deadline?
This
needs to be their big deadline year.
Yeah.
This needs to be the signature Dave Dombrowski deadline. I don't know if you're familiar with Dave Dombrowski's track record with former teams, but he's made some pretty crazy trades in his career. He traded for Chris Sale. He traded for who did he trade for? Yoenis Cespedes. When he was like the biggest upcoming guy in the sport.
Yeah, I remember that.
He scared me for so long.
And then he kind of just...
He had a horse accident and his career got ruined. He fell off like a horse or something. But Dombrowski buys championships. And at this point, that's what the Phillies need. Yeah. Get me an overperforming Rhys Hoskins at the deadline.
Yeah.
Move Harper to right or left.
Yeah, could you imagine you see Hoskins having this like incredible season?
It's his contract year.
Yeah.
This is Rhys Hoskins' chance to redeem his 2023 when he tore his ACL, which was also a contract year. He didn't have a chance to prove himself. This is his chance to perform in his contract year.
But who would they trade for him?
I don't know. Alec Bohm. That'd be pointless.
I feel like it would be, wouldn't it?
All right, fine. Last thing, and then we'll go. Who's your one non-Philly that you're going to keep an eye on the whole season?
Non-Philly.
Mine's Rhys Hoskins.
Well,
if you want me to get it weird, I'll say a weird one.
Ew.
There you go. I need to think.
No, I got to think about this.
The player I'm going to watch this year, Dylan Cruz from the Nationals. It's his first full season. I think he's going to be really, really good. So I'm going to keep my eye on Dylan Cruz from the Nationals.
Well, I might watch Juan Soto until he becomes a Philly.
Dream's never dead. Worst contract in the sport in 3 years. I'm not joking. You know I'm not joking. All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Any last words before this podcast? Before we shift into the regular season?
I don't think so. I'm really looking forward to this. Baseball season's awesome. The weather's starting to get nice. It's probably going to snow next week, but you know.
It was supposed to snow on Thursday, but that went away. But the weather's crisp. I can feel it in the air. The Phillies are back.
Phillies are back.
Season's finally ending for the Sixers.
Oh my goodness, the Sixers.
How about that Paul George contract? Amazing.
Remember when I said this was going to be huge? They're going to be the only team that could challenge the Celtics. I actually said that.
And I said this is going to be the year I get invested. I watched one game, and Jared McCain got out for the season, and I called it a quits.
So right now, all we got is the Phillies. I would be honest.
Flyers, kinda, a little bit, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that pretty much does it.
That does it for now.
Go Phillies,
Go
fighting
Phils.
Phils. What is their saying? Do the Phillies have a saying?
Uh, go fight the Phils.
Go fight the Phils.
No, they don't say that.
See ya.
See ya.